I'm sorry, Andrew Weissman, but if I recall correctly, in 2018, you were one of the people who helped write the Mueller report, and you all botched the hell out of that.
And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought we would be here. I thought we were better as a country.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these sites that have been around for creating videos and all that, like text stock videos, they're done.
But that's why Canva was one of the first to get into doing AI.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team since 2020, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And the first new show of 2025 on Primetime Saturday. And at our new time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. New year, lots of new things going on, but the same wonderful stuff. One thing that hasn't changed from the past are the stars of the show. Aisha K. Staggers and Lala Dr. in the house. What is up?
Happy New Year.
Aisha, you're on mute. Don't put yourself on mute for a new year.
I was on mute because as the things were running around, my mic was still on, so I put it on mute, and I didn't want anyone to hear the knock on my door.
No, you didn't want to give it. So what has been going on, everybody? What's up? Oh, boy.
A much needed rest. I'll say that. I had a much needed rest. Took things really easy and just look, I was so into just not being on social media, not being in communication with anybody. I called Jill last week and I said, "Oh my God, Jill, I'm so sorry. I said I just forgot about you. I wanted to check on you on your arm." And
how is she doing? Well, how's she doing? Well, there's what leads into our first conversation, but how is she doing?
Yeah, physically she's healing. Okay. So we were able to chat last weekend before all of the fires and things erupted.
Okay. All right. Other than that, what did you do over the holiday season?
Hung out with family.
Oh, good.
That was it. Just hung out with family. I felt like it was kind of like being back during COVID because my whole family just kind of camped out together for the holidays. So we did Christmas Eve at my sister's house. My sister had everything laid out nicely, and then Christmas Day at my grandmother's house, and then New Year's Eve at my mom's house. And my cousin came over and just hung out with us on New Year's Eve, everybody in their pajamas eating Chinese food and eating the New Year. And it was so funny because I was supposed to take my cousin home because my aunt and her two daughters, and her daughters are adult women, but they moved like down the street and around the corner from us, not far from us at all. And I was like, well, I'll drive you home. It was like, Happy New
Okay.
I basically got the word year out before I was out.
So did either of you go out for New Year's at all?
Yes.
Oh, so you're the party girl. Okay, Lala.
I don't like to go out. I love to stay home and watch Twilight Zone. That's my thing. But my husband is
on New Year's Eve, Twilight Zone.
I don't like crowds. I just don't like crowds. And usually my husband is playing somewhere. He's always part of a band. But this year, he didn't have that. So we went out and we watched the fireworks, and it was in a smaller town, so it wasn't really crowded. We rang in the new year with champagne and fireworks and just really enjoyed our time together. Our whole holiday, since he was off during that break, we just really snuggled in and just really reflected on the year and reflected on the blessings that we experienced in 2024, even though it's, you know, we always talk about things that are going on. There are still many things that we are extremely blessed about. And we wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that and take that acknowledgement into the new year.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Aisha, because you were out on New Year's Eve. Aisha, did you wear your onesie during New Year's
Yes, I
Eve?
did. No, I didn't.
Why did I know that?
Wait, no, actually, I
Oh.
planned on it. No, my cousin actually had one on. I planned on wearing a onesie, but I ended up wearing something else. I think I was just like leggings and sweatshirt, like
Okay.
leggings and Fisk sweatshirt, right?
Here we go. Something's happening now. Oh, here we go.
Look at my new onesie.
Oh, Lord.
And it's got a tail.
Really? Really? A tail? A tail? A tail?
From Lilo and Stitch. It's Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. He's got ears.
No, I do remember what I wore. I wore Prince leggings and a Prince t-shirt because this is my favorite pair of leggings and my favorite t-shirt, and I could not find them for a long time. And so I just happened to go like in through the closet and like was pulling stuff out to wear a New Year's Day. And I was like, oh, I found this. Oh, I'm wearing this. And that's how that happened. So yeah.
Okay.
But
Lala, so this is a running thing, the onesies on this show, believe it or not, finally. So have you worn that onesie yet?
No, my hubby just got it for me today and surprised me. So yeah, after we're done with the show, it's time to chill. That's what I'll be wearing.
He's in love with you because he buys you onesies.
Yes, he does. He likes my onesie. And let's just remind you, I'm 54 and I could care less. I love my onesie.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn back to my onesies. As soon I went and got HRT. That is what I did. That was my New Year's resolution, and I did it.
Oh, wow.
And so, look, as soon as my body temperature gets regulated again, I'll be back in my onesies. Hormone replacement therapy.
Okay, I was wondering. Sorry, I'm not educated on those acronyms or whatever you call them. All right. Okay. So onesies. Now, folks, don't ever think you're going to see us all on a show with onesies on. Don't do that.
You might see me. You might see me.
You'll see me and Lala, because we oftentimes wear ours.
You know what? We should do an episode called The Onesies Show.
I would love it. I love it.
Okay, that's cool. So Chinese food. All right. Any other great meals over the holidays?
Oh my God, I ate stupid. I am so I am so strictly on my plan again, not even funny. I ate dumb. And I normally balance really good, but for some reason this year I was like, you know what? I'll have some of this and some of that, and some of this and that. And I just had, oh my gosh. By the time New Year rolled around, I was like, I can't eat another thing. Let me just chill.
You know what's so funny is that I have had so many stomach problems over the last couple of years, and I'm like, I'm just done with it. And I'm seeing a new doctor, and I'm like, I'm done with it. He said, well, in addition to, how we're gonna have to fix this, you're gonna have to fix what you take in. And so I've been like, I just like pulled everything out my diet and slowly putting things in. So like really focusing on, because for a while I was having trouble even digesting fruits and vegetables. So now I'm back to fruits and vegetables and things like that. But there are a lot of things that I just can't digest without stomach upset. So over the holiday, I was very mindful of that.
Okay.
Cool. But my sister's friend came over for Christmas Eve, and he made stewed chicken. He's from the island of Dominica.
Stewed chicken. Oh.
And it was so, oh my God, it was so good. The chicken itself was good, but that gravy that it was in, oh my gosh, that with the rice.
It's one of the things I got to stay away from. Night chicken and rice. The gravy makes it. The gravy makes it.
Chicken and rice is like one of my favorite meals, period. It's comfort food for me. So anytime made any kind of way, chicken and rice makes me happy.
Well, look in the comments section. Fitness IQ Cam says, "Howdy, y'all," and
Hey,
also and she says, "Yeah, stew chicken." So another stew. It goes, "Happy New Year, ladies and gents." Thank you so much. Now the funny thing is, because we've had a switch in time, now it clashes when she has her show every Saturday. So she's probably not going to be here. She's not going to be here for that long. But she at least
thank you for coming.
Yeah,
yes,
thank you for jumping in. But yeah, I actually on Christmas Day we had a big family dinner, and all I had was salad, some turkey, and some cornbread. That was it. Salad first.
Christmas Day, I didn't eat a lot.
Salad first, though. Salad always first, and then we did another big family get together on New Year's Day. A bunch of us who went to a Korean barbecue restaurant.
Oh, nice.
Oh, now you know that. Now that is my favorite.
Korean.
Oh, Korean. I could eat Korean every single day.
Korean barbecue. Cook that food on the grill, on the hibachi thing. That was a wonderful experience. Well, you know what? There are people here because I didn't know. First of all, people would remember. Second of all, it's a shift in time. So there are people here. So that's a good thing. Well, remember, going forward, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays now. All right. All right. So let's go to break time. And when we come back, we are going to get into it. It's been a few weeks. Oh, look at this. Dusty Bunny. Who's Dusty Bunny? Hello, Dusty Bunny. His first time I've seen that day.
My friend. I know. New friend.
All right. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of a break and then we're going to come back. And it may be a new year, but there's still things that we're trying to figure out that are going on in America. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. Hold tight.
If the black dollar was not important, they wouldn't be doing these type of commercials to get your business back.
The same people who don't want gun checks, mental health checks, all for open carry. And when your kid gets shot in school, they offer thoughts and prayers. Make it make sense.
Y'all don't understand how our government works.
I think the lesson that we learned from that for years is how miserable people are. Their misery is contagious.
All right. New year, new things.
I got to take a sip of my new favorite while we were on commercial, which is ginger beer.
Oh, ginger beer is
good.
But I had to find a diet one. Because I can't have the sugar, so I had to find one that was sugar free. And oh my god, I love it.
I haven't had it for a long time, but when I do it, I do homemade ginger beer.
Okay, I'm gonna need that recipe.
Okay.
Me too. Me too, because I love it.
Homemade ginger beer, and it's not that difficult to make, really and truly.
That's what I hear.
It's very simple to make. Very, very simple. Okay, so that's another to do on the list for 2025. Okay, all right. Nothing to do. All right, let's get down on it. I said I was gonna get to it. Get down on it. Get down on it. I was thinking about that. All right. So as always, some things you need to check out when you're not checking out us. Girlfriends Chat with Aisha, Lala, and Jill Jones on Patreon. There is the link. Also, Primetime Saturday store. Buy some stuff. Support.
Got some new stuff.
Yes. Join the Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. And also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And also to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I put this on, email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. Well, New Year, same shenanigans. 47 sentenced to unconditional discharge in New York hush money case.
Okay, I get that Mershon was trying to do something, because remember before he said he wasn't going to sentence him at all, and then he changed his mind apparently over the break. But he didn't have to give him an unconditional discharge. He could have given him a conditional discharge. He could have given him probation. If anything, like someone said earlier, I forgot who it was, a commentator said that, you know what, he could have told him for the next 14 days until you are sworn in. I mean, the next 10 days until you're sworn in, you have to pick up trash on the side of the East Side Highway every day. Okay. Something, right? Something. Um, something. Just you have to do something. Um, I guess some legal scholars have said the good thing about this is that now that he's been convicted and sentenced, even though there was no actual punishment, the sentence means that the conviction follows him wherever. And that's something that he wanted to avoid. And I'm sure it is because he's still trying to appeal. But the bottom line is that he got what he wanted. He wanted to run for president to stay out of jail. And America gave Trump what he wanted.
So
And,
here's
and
my
they're going to screw themselves already.
So here's what's interesting to me, and I have lost all faith in everything. I always tried to hold a candle of hope, and I see that that's not going to happen. But when you are a convicted felon, I don't care who you are not allowed to go into certain states, Canada, Mexico, many of the EU states. So are they going to still allow him to do this? And what kind of message does that send to the people? Since you're a convicted felon and you got to vote and you got to do all that, what about the people who are convicted felon in everyday life? I guess y'all don't matter because you're not rich or you're not a crony, because I really don't believe Trump is rich either. But you're not a con man or whatever. Even if you're a convicted felon, you still should be able to live a regular life with no punishment. So what kind of message does this send? How is the world going to receive this? Will some of these places stand up and say, no, you can't come to our country? Because if they set that precedent, you might as well set the world on fire.
Yeah. And I think that's the question too, right? At the bare minimum, he should have to wear an ankle bracelet for as long as the sentence would have been, right? He's got a parole officer. How does this man function as a world leader and go to different countries and world conferences when he has to check in with his probation officer first?
Listen, the probation officer is probably now going to need Secret Service too. So now we done got another bill to pay for somebody following his con.
Well, notice the probation officer was the one person that he did not trash. And for that reason is because he was still worried that he might end up with some prison time, because the probation officer would have been the person to help determine that. But at this point, it's like, I'm sorry, but I don't see any other world leader looking at him and saying, I'm sorry, it's very hard for me to respect you, even though your title says president, you're a convicted felon. And my country, we don't allow criminals from other countries in. The same way that you complained about how the immigrants, they're letting in all the criminals, we don't let in criminals either. So you can't come.
I think Mexico will stand firm for real, because
She's
down
dead
there,
serious.
she don't play with him.
She
But
is
now that
standing
we
on
have
business.
Trudeau stepped down, we don't know what's going to happen with Canada.
Well,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole thing about
but you guys are going to be claiming us as your 51st state.
But remember,
I hope y'all
those things too are just his way of distracting. If I throw out, oh, I want Canada to be the first state, Greenland, Denmark, Panama Canal.
I just want to interrupt. You notice the day he did that? What day did he do that?
The day that they announced that he was going to be sentenced.
No, he did that on January 6th.
Of course.
The anniversary of the insurrection. So divert.
And that was also the day that it broke that Mershon was going to sentence him.
There you go.
But here's the other thing. He said that, yeah, but the reason that he's even talking it up more now is because he doesn't want people to know that these Republicans in this quote unquote immigration bill, they're trying to do a one package deal, which will cut food assistance to needy families. It will cut Medicaid and Medicare. It will cut Social Security. and it will make the tax cuts to the wealthy people who will be his entire cabinet. The 1,000 wealthy people in the United States, his entire cabinet minus Beyonce. It will incorporate all of those people minus Beyonce and Oprah. All the other rich people are in his cabinet, and it will make those tax cuts for them permanent. Period. And so while you have all these pundits talking about what is he talking about? He sounds crazy, this and that. He's saying all those things. But here's the scarier part. Project 2025, y'all, is still on the table. He's
Y'all
saying
thought we was playing with y'all.
He's saying these crazy things, and guess what? They're letting him, because guess why? It sounds crazy, and it sounds crazy enough that once they're sworn in, JD Mans can say, this man is crazy. Do you hear all these things he's talking about? He sounds crazy. We are going to have to do a 25th Amendment on him because he's not well. Look at he did 2 press conferences in the last week, and they both sounded crazy, insane, deranged. Someone asked him about him and Barack Obama talking during the funeral, and this man says, yeah, see, we were backstage. While we were backstage, it was a funeral. Dude, you weren't going on a TV show. So this man is talking a whole lot of crazy stuff because he's trying to get people to not look at the fact that he's going to be a convicted felon sworn into office the first time in this country. He's trying to get people not to look at this one push bill that they're trying to push through. It's got immigration in it, so they think it's going to be, that's the thing that they're going to talk about. That's the shiny object that they want people to talk about. They're not going to talk about all the things that it cuts that the people that voted for him depend on.
Regina asked, does he have a probation officer?
Yep. He sure does. Well, he's not on probation, but he does have he has a parole officer.
Okay. JG Mar says,
but the thing is that because this is a unconditional discharge, after a certain period of time, the conviction stands, but he's not going to have to report to anybody.
Okay. JJ Mar says, MAGA morons were mad at Vivek and Elon regarding immigration policy being modified, but conservative media has shifted attention to other things.
Right. And let's be very clear. They're not mad at the immigration policy being modified, because if that immigration policy was to bring people from Norway and Sweden and all that stuff, they'd have no problem with it. The problem that they have more than anything is that this man, Vivek Ramaswamy, told white people that they were dumb.
Okay. Also, green-eyed baby, I always get this wrong. Green-eyed baby says, I thought discharge meant wipe the charges out. That would mean he doesn't have a record at all. Does E. Jean Carl still get paid?
He does get paid because that appeal did not go through. But the discharge doesn't. It gets wiped out after a period of time. I forgot how they explained it yesterday, but they said that the sentencing solidifies the fact that he is a felon. Period. Yeah. He can appeal it, but it goes on his permanent record as a felony. He is a felon. Period.
But y'all, okay, listen.
Yeah.
Can we just stop pretending like that even makes a difference?
Nope.
The man embraced the fact that he's a convicted felon. He had it put on t-shirts. His cronies had, I'm voting for the convicted felon. So let's just be very honest that guess what? It's not going to make one iota of a difference. It's going to be interesting to see how the world reacts. But for America, they're the one who put him there. So guess what? Somebody else worry about it.
Well, that will be, here's the thing. That will be what will be the shock to everyone, is how the rest of the world is going to receive this convicted felon, because they're going to expect that because these idiots in this country were able to look the other way at him being a felon and still put him back in office. Other countries aren't the same. And I think Americans are people that have to learn the hard way. Just like these people, when they go overseas and they break a law and they realize, well, it's not illegal where I'm from. Well, guess what? You're not at home, so our rules stand. You don't, it's that kind of thing. So it's like he might feel like he can go to France, but Macron can say, yeah, our laws are that we don't let, you won't make it past customs, dude. Sorry.
Green
But
eyed.
then you've got countries like South Korea who have embraced the whole political shenanigans and have already drank the Kool-Aid over there because of their elections. They got MAGA hats over there talking about stop the steal. So look at how this whole world has changed. And I sit back and watch it very closely now because it's absolutely amazing. It sounds like it's some freaking Hollywood movie, but we are actually living in it. And what we have done in America is also influencing other countries who are going down the same line. So billionaires are running amok, my friends, and not just in America.
Yeah. And I mean, and think of it. I mean, remember, Donald Trump treats the presidency like it's a TV show. He keeps saying that this is season 2 after a 4-year hiatus. This is the reboot, okay? This is 45, the reboot, 47. And he has a new cast of characters. And think about it. Anytime anyone asks him, how did you pick someone? He's like, oh yeah, they came right out of central casting. What the heck does that mean to people outside of Hollywood? I don't need someone out of central casting to run the Department of Education or to run the Department of Justice. And the sadder part about this are these reports. Jack Smith is prepared to release all the reports on Donald Trump. Now, mind you, Eileen Cannon overstepped her bounds there, trying to put a stay on all of them. But yes, the January 6th one's going to come out. But Merrick Garland has here will be the footnote. Who was the worst political person between 2017 and 2025? It would not be Donald Trump. It will be Merrick Garland, because Merrick Garland had many. He had 4 years of opportunities to deal with that man, and he chose not to. Even to this final stretch where it's like, dude, at this point, they're talking about you can't. You're not talking about you're not going to release the documents case because these other 2 people, it could influence their case. Did you forget that Eileen Cannon threw the whole case out? Dismissed the whole case, including theirs?
Let me get some comments in. Green Idol Baby says the world is happy because he can't travel. Regina says, I agree with Lala. Magats embrace his mugshot on their t-shirt. Dr. Tachi's in the house. What is up, Dr. Tachi? What is going on?
Hey, Dr. Tachi.
And Regina says, greetings, Dr. Tachi. Also, Regina, you said you sent me your email address. Where did you send it to me? I don't remember. I've been trying to find it right now while this is going on. I can't remember where you sent it to me. Green-eyed little baby says, excuse me, Dr. Vibe, thank you. Happy New Year to all of you. I find it funny some parts of Africa is kicking Elon out, especially his business.
Should be. They should.
Well, they should.
All right. So we are watching the first brand new episode of 2025 of Primetime Saturday with Aisha Lala. And as you see, there's nothing to talk about. The world's been so quiet in 2025. All right. Speaking of this, the peaceful transfer of power from Biden to 47.
January 6th came and went. Nothing happened. Kamala Harris did her black job, and she did her black job so well, she made that shriveled up prune of a man, Bruce Fisher, so angry he couldn't. He didn't
look at her. He didn't
next to her.
He didn't look at her. He wouldn't shake her hand. He wouldn't nothing.
But yeah, I saw that. Yes.
But I want to say something on this. Okay, listen. I'm gonna be very, very honest. Yes, I think that's despicable and gross. But if you make me get something from Trump, I'm not shaking his hand either. Matter of fact, I ain't showing up. So I yeah, in the way I understand, and I don't like it. But you know what? If it would, I have to think about and put my own self in my shoes. I wouldn't if that was me and Trump, or and no, I wouldn't be there.
But see, here's the whole thing of it. It'd be different. It's one thing if it was just him hating Democrats. He shook Joe Biden's hand when Joe Biden swore her in, when Joe Biden was vice president. That's when that happened. Somebody rolled the clip of him shaking Pence's hand, shaking Joe Biden's hand. His
Okay,
contempt was held for this
that's a
black
different narrative.
woman.
Yeah, there's a different narrative then.
His
That's
contempt
that
was
way.
held for this black. Even his wife was like, "Move closer, move closer," and he just would not. And Kamala Harris, she was the way that she handled it was so funny. Just that look on her face, like
Right?
what is wrong with
Yeah.
him? As if it's like, dude, he wanted her to feel his contempt, but he didn't want the rest of the world to see it. And the
Too
rest of the
late.
world saw it. But not only that, but he wanted his contempt to make her mad, and
And
it
it
didn't
didn't work.
work. And her contempt was just like, oh well, this old bigoted,
No.
this old
Which is
bigoted boy.
bothering. I can tell you right now, my man is bothered by that right now. As we're speaking about it, he
Mhm.
is really bothered that he didn't get the reaction that he
Mhm.
wanted from her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right.
I loved it when she said to him, "I don't bite. I'm not going to bite you. I don't bite, Bruce."
All right. Just an update. Regina, can you email me again? Because I'm checking my email box. I don't see it. I've checked my spam. You should have, I don't know where. So you'll see my email address anyways before the end, but no problem. Dr. Tati says, Regina, hey, friend. Also, look who's here. Jen Myers. I made it, everyone. Sorry so late. Was away from my phone for a while. Green
And
Eyed says,
I texted you. I was like, "Dan, don't forget, it's 5 o'clock tonight."
12 o'clock. Yes, Green Eyed says he's a college professor, which makes it worse. A grown blank man acting like a 5-year-old. Dr. Chachi says, better for her. Who wants to touch that decrepit, racist
Thank you.
wildebeest hand, anyways?
And you know,
Don't be
okay,
making
I
them
gotta tell you
cookies
something.
over here.
No, but I gotta tell you something. Here's another way to look at it. His wife hates him because his wife did everything to make it obvious that he was being a child.
Yeah,
You know,
she really was. I have to admit, yeah, she did. She
she's
was
like,
like,
"Go, move
with
closer,
you.
get closer, Bruce, get closer, Bruce." And then when his excuse could have been, "I'm holding the Bible and my cane, so I can't shake her hand." She's like, "Brucey, let me take your Bible." So his hand was available, right? His wife hates him.
Oh my gosh. Regina says, well, Pence's wife refused to acknowledge
We're
47.
gonna get to that. When we talk about Jimmy
Carter.
we
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
have to get to that because she stood on business.
Okay.
And Michelle.
All right. And Regina says, which was great. She goes, which
Yes.
was great. All right. What else we want to talk about when it comes to this subject?
Okay, here's the thing. It was a peaceful thing of power. The on the right, they want to explain like, oh my gosh, ha ha ha, Kamala Harris, ha ha ha, she had to certify her loss, ha 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 ha. Well, guess what? Guess who else had to do that? Mike Pence.
Yes.
Guess who else had to do that?
Yeah,
Al
they act
Gore.
like this ain't nothing, something new.
Al Gore. Guess who else had to do that? Dan Quayle. There are actually more Republicans in the last couple of years who had to do that than there were Democrats. Okay.
Is he now? Quail, what's he doing?
Dan Quayle was at the funeral. You just wouldn't recognize him because he doesn't look the way he did in the 80s. The last thing you remember is seeing Dan Quayle not being able to spell potato with that flippant hairdo, and he looked like an idiot. Well, he looks like an old idiot now, and he pretty much has stayed out of public life.
I was wondering because I was like,
Oh, you know who else wasn't at the funeral? When we get to it, Dick Cheney.
well, of course. But
Wow.
we'll wait on that.
Wow.
That was some family politics right there. Okay.
Well, I didn't watch much of it, but I did see the photo that all the former presidents had their hand over their heart except one person.
Except the one looking at the Tweety bird in the air.
Jeez. Dr. Tachi says the nonverbal communication at Carter's funeral was something else. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Dynamics at funerals are always so interesting.
Funerals and weddings are always some of the most interesting times to watch people in action. Always some of the most interesting times. All right, let's move to another interesting story. Meta to end fact checking program on Facebook, Instagram, and the US. And I also know that Dr. Tachi, who's in the comments live, will have something to say about this. But ladies, go for it.
I told you the billionaires are running amok. You are talking about an idiot who is so happy that he doesn't have to be underneath somebody's thumb anymore. He didn't waste no time. He announced the DEI is out the door, effective immediately. Now ain't no fact checking. He's been talking to Musk, but Musk has been talking to him from the very beginning. This is nothing new. And unfortunately,
$1 million that he donated to the inauguration.
Thank you.
So
the $1 million.
So we know where all this is coming from, and then putting a Trump loyalist on your board. I mean, basically, then just give Facebook over to Trump. Okay, let it become Trump book, because at this point you are surrendering. Since
Donald, he's getting what he wants.
Yeah. So since Donald Trump's going to control most of social media in this country, and then TikTok won't be a thing. I think that they're moving from fact checking to community notes. But remember, community notes are not facts. People get to spin them however they want to. Somebody can attach a community note to what you said because they don't like it, or because they read somewhere else that this wasn't true, when what they read might not necessarily be a fact in and of itself. So the fact checking, then you know what? Then if that is the case, and you're not going to fact check or anything anymore, you should not be protected under what you said you were protected before.
Exactly.
Under free speech, by saying, well, we consider ourselves a news, the same kind of digital publication as a news platform. That is why Facebook got out of being regulated in the first freaking place, because they said that they were equivalent to news platforms, so that they couldn't be regulated.
That he had to go sit himself in front of Congress.
But they said,
and now he's throwing a tantrum
under the First Amendment, because they were like news platforms. Well, guess what? News platforms, they have a code of ethics, and part of that code of ethics is that they fact check. That is what they're supposed to do. Now, for example, Fox News, that's entertainment. We all know that. That is not a news organization, even though they get a pass for being one. They don't fact check. And when people do fact check them, they get very upset and in their feelings. And then they run to then they run to social media, where they can speak and spew all this lies and hatred that they want, without, guess what, being fact checked.
So y'all don't see the pattern? John say.
Right. So basically, let me tell you something. I don't post on these so much. I look at them. I look what's on them. Facebook, I can't even get into my Facebook, so that's a long story. I can look at it, but I can't even get into it. I can look at it from outside. I look at Instagram just to look at the videos and things that people post and tell me about. But other than that, Facebook, X, I can't deal with them, and they're about to get a whole lot more toxic now that the racists can say what they want and spew what they want. And what kills me is Mark Zuckerberg feels no sense of responsibility. He is the most dangerous kind of evil, because he has this power. He has this power here, and he has no conscience. And beyond that, I look at this thing between him and Elon Musk, and then Vivek and Elon trying to run government, and I'm like, we are literally living in a nerd's fever dream right now, where if you ask them the thing that they want more than anything, the people who weren't popular anywhere in high school or anywhere in life, the one thing that they wanted more than anything, they would trade money, they would trade power for, to be popular. And now here they are, popular, and they don't even know what to do with it.
They don't.
Instead, they're arguing with each other and trying to one up each other, and the rest of us are looking at them like, you are a bunch of weirdos.
Me personally, I'm over it. Listen, here's the thing. I get fact checked, and I can I'm prepared. I'm going to get community notes on every post that I have, because I post Black history every single freaking day, and I can't tell you how many times I get notifications. You're distressing people. How the hell am I distressing people? Telling the truth. Well, it's because they don't want any of our history to be out there, and that is my whole purpose of of posting it.
But guess
So
what?
if y'all are my friend on Facebook and y'all suddenly see me gone, you know why.
But guess what? Complain about that, because now it say, wait a second. You said that you are not fact checking, so people's
Yep.
feelings are not facts.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so we got some comments here. Dr. Tachi says it's a dangerous thing when you let the public set the standard for the truth.
Especially when our public doesn't know the difference between truth, misinformation. From all the things that they're told, no one in this public sphere knows the truth anymore.
Carlos Phoenix, long time no chat. Carlos Good says he says that Facebook is a comedy, or whatever. Fox is comedy channel. Regina says he did an interview with Rogan, liar and thief. Big surprise. Stole the idea for the social network from the Winklevoss twins.
Yes.
JG Mark says, JJ Mark said, I've said it before. Presidents 47 and Elon are a great example of American kleptocracy in motion. Yeah. Regina, Dr. Tati says, Regina Ferris says yes. And then Dr. Tati says, well, as I said, I'm minding my Black business and eating a bowl of jollof rice with a spoon.
And here's my tea.
I love jollof rice. I love it. Like I said, that and chicken. I love rice and chicken. Any kind of rice and chicken.
Dana White on the board.
All kidding aside, let's be very honest about something that we already know, because we've already seen it. We laugh, we get upset, but guess what? Trump has always been the one who thinks if anybody is trying to even get any of his limelight, he will put his foot down immediately. All these people who think that they are going to get something from him have a real true slap in the face coming. Your time is ticking. You're okay right now, but the minute that D doesn't see you have any use for him, you will be slapped down, just like everybody else was in the first administration, where we didn't even have somebody even serve all the way through. So let's be very honest and they're all a ticking time bomb, because they're all going to go bye-bye too after they get what they want, of course. But once Trump says, hey, I don't need you no more, which he's already slapped Musk and said for him to stay in his lane.
Not hard enough, because guess what? Trump got slapped back by Musk, and Musk said, "I bought you."
There you
go.
go.
And not only that, Trump. The other reason that Trump is not going to speak so much is because if the E. Jean Carroll thing held, likely the money to New York is going to hold. He's going to need somebody to pay that, so he's going to be really nice to Musk until them tabs get paid. Once those tabs get paid, then Musk will be told about himself.
Yes.
And
but he's strategic about everything he does. He taps everybody for as much as he can get from them, and then he discards them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More comments. Green Eyed says, are you guys on Blue Sky? I left Twitter and its Blue Sky is so much better. We need a replacement for Facebook. Aisha said, yes, I am on Blue Sky. She is. And so am I. And Dr.
I reached my 1,000. I reached my 1,000 followers before Christmas too.
All right. Dr. Tag says, green eyed indeed. I left X for Blue Sky last year.
Yep.
Yes. Blue Sky. I got to give it some more time. Green eyed says, yes, great. I'll follow you guys. I'm under Valencia Weaver. Okay. What an interesting name. Where did that tagline? Valencia Weaver. You got me curious. What is that? There's got to be a story
from a movie.
I have no idea, but I'm very curious to know, where did you get that handle from? I'm so curious. All right.
Or is that your real name?
Who knows? All right. Last conversation piece. Remembering Jimmy Carter. Now, before we go any further, there was a comment from the past we got to put up that Regina says watching the funeral was like watching the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Oh my God.
All right, so funeral and legacy, go for it.
Well, well, there's this comedian, a Black comedian. She did the voices of all the former presidents and the current president, all the people coming in to the funeral, and it was hysterical. Oh my gosh, like I read lips, and it was hysterical. But I gotta say, you know, all of the living vice presidents were there except Dick Cheney, which there are probably two reasons why. Dick Cheney probably just being a curmudgeon didn't like Jimmy Carter very much, but also too, I think a lot of it had more to do with he found out Trump was going to be there. No thanks,
Yeah.
because I still have an ongoing thing with this man and my daughter right now, and yeah, he's talking about putting my daughter before firing squad. So no, thank you. And Michelle Obama said, "What is the seating arrangement again? I'm supposed to be sitting next to who?" Um, I'm gonna stand in the extended vacation in Hawaii, which is where she did. Okay. Um, now people are like, well, why was Barack Obama like sitting there talking with him? Let's be very clear. Barack Obama wasn't really talking to him. Trump was talking to Barack Obama. And you guys remember that time at that well, that time. Remember all the funerals and things that Michelle Obama has to sit next to George W. Bush, and George W. Bush starts talking to her, and it was that first thing that they were at. I think it was a funeral for some
It
police
was.
officers, and he was just talking, and she's like having to hold his hand because he was out of control, and she was trying to keep him kind of reining in and be like, mm-hmm. That's what Barack Obama was doing in that case. Okay, he was giving Michelle energy. He's like, I'm going to entertain this useless idiot because he won't stop talking in my ear, and if I don't, he will keep talking to me. It's like sometimes the best way to get people to stop talking to you is to look at them and act like you're right. And guess what? There was a lot going on behind that smile. I promise you, there was a
Oh, I
lot
can
going
tell.
on
But we know what was going
behind
on
that
behind
smile.
that smile.
But, but get this. Somebody said this. I think it was Joy Reid said this. She gave this perspective, and I think she's right. He really wants Barack Obama to like him.
Yes,
It's like he
yes.
thinks that now that they should be friends, all this stuff. And
Right.
and then somebody asked Trump about it. He's like, yeah, I think I would say that we like each other. I would think that we would get along as great as friends. I think that we could. Huh? He really, he really want. He really,
Lala's face was priceless for the last 10 seconds.
he
It was
really wants. He really wants Barack Obama to like him. And so the most awkward moment to me was when Pence was when well, not even then. Let me see. George Bush walks in like he just came in from anywhere, right? Taps Barack on the belly. It's like Trump wasn't even there. He's like, hey,
I was there.
like,
I
y'all.
was like, "What's your bad self?"
But you know what though? He didn't want to say hi to him because remember, he said when his father was still living, every time Trump came on the TV, he would throw his shoe at the TV. Okay. So he didn't want to be visited by the ghost of his father. And so he just like, didn't act like he didn't see him. Laura acted like she didn't see either one of them. And then, I mean, when Trump had to shake Pence's hand, that was like,
Okay, I give it up to Pence. I give it up to him because if it was somebody who tried to kill me and I had to shake his hand, I'm sorry, I wouldn't even acknowledge that man that was in the room.
that's because Pence still, for some reason, thinks he has a career in politics.
Boy,
Because I would have been like, I would have been like, but no, Mrs. Pence. Now that woman right there. Let me tell you
he
something.
said, "Not today."
Let me tell you
Not
something.
today.
If bitterness was a hard pill to swallow, she swallowed that thing with ease and no water. She said, I have time and you are not worth it. I will not be shaking your hand and I will not be looking at that wicked witch and shaking her hand either. Mm-mm. And then Kamala's like, I'm not talking to nobody. Doug,
She sure did.
she's like, I'm not. She talked to Barack after a while, but at first she was looking over her shoulder at him. He keying it up with Trump and like, the I am. And it's not so bad for Doug, but Doug is a real one because when she turned to talk to Barack Obama when they were standing, Doug was like, I'm gonna make small talk with Trump to keep him out y'all's business, but he better not say a word to my wife.
Right. You can tell that was all the
He's
energy.
like, I'm gonna talk to him so he doesn't talk to her.
You know what kills me is all these reports like, and then see everybody just came together in a time and they broke
That was the most dysfunctional family ever.
Nobody was together. What's wrong with you? No.
That's the most dysfunctional family ever. Let me tell you something about that. The it is an exclusive club, a very
Yes.
exclusive club, the presidency
Yes.
and the vice presidency. Very
Yes.
exclusive club. And
Yes.
Trump still can't be a part of it.
Nope.
Put it this way. The only person who said hi to him that he put it this way, he had anyone who said hi to him, he had to go up and speak to them first.
Yes.
And but look, but for the fact that Michelle wasn't there, Barack Obama wouldn't have said anything to him.
All right. Dr. Tachi says Barack took one for the team.
He did.
He was baby. She says he was babysitting a toddler.
Michelle said, "You got to do this heavy lifting today."
And then Dr. Tacho says Pence has no chance of a political career. He might as well start a podcast. Dr. Tachi, you're so wrong. You're so
but
wrong.
she's right. She's right. That's look. I feel. You know who I feel bad for in that case is Mrs. Pence, because I know that man walks around the house talking about, when I get myself together, I'm gonna get my boys together and we're gonna run a campaign and I'm gonna be this again. And I'm sure she's like, sure, honey. Sure, honey.
You know who I can't wait? I can't wait.
President in Texas that might like a painting partner. Because he's done backed out of politics for good too.
Yeah, he's
Look, George W. Bush.
I think she probably just pets his little head and goes, "Okay, honey."
George W. Bush is the ultimate sipping paint person.
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
He sips and he
Stop
paints.
it.
He sips
Stop
and
it.
he paints.
Stop it.
He's gotten very good at it though. His painting at first used to look like a toddler doing watercolors, but now he's gotten pretty good. He's gotten pretty good. Laura said he found a hobby. As long as he is up out my face.
Right, exactly.
Okay, are you done now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And George, I guess it was a little sad though that Michelle wasn't there.
Yeah, because I love seeing her, period.
Okay, hold on. Do we have some parting words for the late Jimmy Carter? Okay, let's say something. Okay.
Let me tell you something. I was 2 years old. Well, not even 2. Let's say 2. Yeah, 76. So I was 2 when he was elected. But I can say this. I have watched Jimmy Carter be an awesome human being these last 48 years. An awesome human being. I mean, if anybody deserves a seat in heaven,
there's a picture of Jesus. Somebody drew a picture of Jesus with his hand around him saying, "It's about time we both rest now, ain't it?" Because, Jesus was a carpenter and Carter was still continuing in his 90s until they made him stop building houses for humanity. This is what type of man he was.
The house that they live in, the house that he lived in all his life with Rosalind, he built. It is worth $234,000. Never moved out that home. He is considered the poor and has been considered the poorest of the former presidents. Did you guys know that? He was the poorest of the former presidents because he was a real one. This man he did he did not only did he do good for people, but he was good. I mean, even when there were conflicts, and this inconsiderate imp of a man who thinks he's coming in to rule is like, he's always getting involved in things that weren't his business. But guess what? People respected him for getting involved in these conflicts and making peace. Wherever Jimmy Carter went, he brought people home. You're on the
Yeah.
line.
Oh, go ahead. No,
Um,
go ahead.
just top notch human. When you think about, being a good person, being a good human, you cannot say anything bad about our president, Jimmy Carter, period.
Yeah.
He was stellar from the first. He always stood on bond. He always spoke his mind. He also, he was a Christian, and he would make it a point to let people know that he's a Christian walking this life. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, that was his beliefs. And his belief was that Christ was his savior. So guess what I always say? I always say that one of the things is Jesus came and left a blueprint for us and the footsteps. And we always seem to miss the mark. But when I tell you somebody really stepped into his footprints, that would be Jimmy Carter. I am sad that he's gone, but I know that he has a great reward. And to me, he's one of the the greatest president to serve, because he truly served the people.
He did.
Period.
He did. And guys, and here's the thing. And when he realized that the people weren't listening anymore, he bowed out. I'm done. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
be with my Rosalind now. Y'all
Yeah.
can't listen. I'm out. I don't want to see what happens after this.
All right. Some last comments here. Dr. Touch says Carter was a stellar humanitarian. She also says President Carter used to hold Bible studies at his home up until a few years ago. That is true, family.
Yep.
That is true. And she also says, well done, President Carter. And also Regina says Carter was trying to drain the swamp, but the DC Dems pushed back. He still accomplished a lot.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
and I think that people have to remember, when you think about his presidency and you look back, you have to remember he inherited the mess that Richard Nixon left. Because remember, Gerald Ford did not walk away from what Richard Nixon left. He just continued those policies, and they were messy. And in what was he going to do in 4 years? He had a really big mess on his hands. But the part of the service I will say that I did like, and if you didn't get a chance, you should go back and hear it, were the posthumous eulogies given by Mondale and Gerald Ford. Mondale, his president, and Gerald Ford, because they all wrote eulogies for each other.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And Gerald Ford's son and Walter Mondale's son read the eulogies.
Yes, read their eulogies at the funeral. That is amazing.
I have to say, he was a terrible president, but I did like what Gerald Ford said at the end. What was it? Something about when you get here, the first thing I'll say to you is, glad to see you, old friend. We have a lot to catch up on.
Well done. All right. After this has been fun. It's been since last year. Okay. We are done. Now, comments wise. So, Green Eye Little Baby said she had mentioned earlier on that she's under Valencia Weaver. That is her real name.
I got you. I'm followed you.
Black Irish and Native American. Heck of a combo. Yeah, that is a heck of a combo. That is a heck.
Mariah Carey actually named her liqueur Black Irish.
Okay, there you go. So before we end off, I also want to shout out, thank you for sending love, Jen Myers, Dwight Allen, Donna Garcia, and Eric Sean Wolf. So 3 of those people never
Them is my
heard of them
family.
before, but they did. They're Lala friends. Okay, all right, they're Lala friends. They all said sending their love. All right. So before we end it off, as always, the ladies allow us to share their contact information. So first up, Lala Key.
Yes,
I have moved a lot of my resources over to my website. You still can reach me at bit.ly/Laura Key Info and my store. I will be having new products this year. I have a couple of things that I've put up over Christmas, but I'll also be having some new wonderful digital products. I am really enjoying being able to put up products that people can use, such as budgets and all sorts of things. But I am going to be swinging all of my resources over to my main page, which is the www.laurakey.net, which is also where you can go to find where you can donate or refer someone who needs help for the LA fires. Please don't forget that. Please share that with everyone that you know, because you never know when somebody is going to need it. Okay. So please make sure you do that. And you can find me all across my social media as Realty Goddess and Living the Lala Life.
All right, next up, Aisha K. Staggers.
Yep, you can find me
You
at
gotta lower your camera because we can't see your mouth.
Okay.
There we
You can
go.
find me at AK Staggers on Instagram. You can find my work on Medium. I haven't written my first article for 2025 yet because I've been contemplating where to start. But
Yeah, that's a good question. Where do you start?
Like, where do I start, right? But I think I have an idea. But Blue Sky, you can find me at akstaggers.bsky.social.
All right. And myself, once I'm around, yes, there's all the places you can find me. The DR, VIBESHOW.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. I'm going to probably take down to Twitter, X/Twitter at DRVIBESHOW, email address DR.VIBE at the DRVIBESHOW.com. So, Regina, email me again. There's my email address. I'm going to be at my computer for the next little while. So email me so I can get that information to Aisha so you two can communicate. All right. Any other last comments? Okay. She says, okay, Dr. Vibe, Aisha, for some reason it is below the August 10th, 24th. Okay, email me again. You got the email address. Email me again. It's also in the comment section where you're watching. So I'm looking for your email so I can get it to Aisha because I don't want it in either one of your bad books, especially in this new year. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching live on the replay. It's appreciated and not taken for granted, as always. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And always don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And big up today, Shirley, intern. Great job producing, as always. And also a big shout out to Emma, who's doing video and audio editing for the next little while for all of us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And as always, if you're not making money, make history. I don't know if I said my usual, so I'm going to say it again. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. And also, that's what I say now. If you're not making money, make history. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and walk good. We'll see ya.